Hey guys, my name is Francisco Hernandez, and today I'm going to show you how I edited this shot on the screen of Zeiri from a recent photo walk that I did at WPPI. I actually don't know how that shot looks like because I wanted to edit that photo with you guys here in this video. If you guys want to see more editing videos and you want to see more, I don't know, edit with me kind of videos like this video is, then let me know by liking this video and let me know by dropping a comment of some sort. Before I edit the photo, I do want to let you guys know that this video is sponsored by Adorama. Adorama is an industry-leading retailer that has been serving photography, videography, and audio customers for almost 50 years now. Their motto is everyone is a creator, and they do their best to unleash that creator within us all by providing us with the tools and expertise necessary to get the job done. I personally shop with Adorama because of the great deals on products I both use and recommend, as well as the great customer service on those products as well. If you guys are interested in any of the products I talk about in today's video, check out the description area below for links to those products and be sure to use those links if you decide to order. So like I said before, I haven't edited the shot, so let's just jump right into Lightroom and show you how I edit the shot there and then jump into Photoshop. So the very first thing I would do is adjust the exposure. It is a little underexposed. Let's see, 1.4 looks pretty good. The next thing I would do is bring up the colors, go into the bottom calibration section, bring it up from blue saturation from 0 to 80, a little too orange, so do a quick little bit of sharpening, and then after that bring down the saturation of the oranges. Sorry for how quick this edit might feel, but I usually take my time, but I wanted to show you guys how I can do a good edit in a short amount of time. So let's continue. I might go ahead and adjust the hue of the orange as well. So let's see, right, good. Let's see, -2, and then yellows, let's see. Yeah, not over here. This is more greenish tones. Yeah, right here is pretty good. Let's see. Let's go to -15. And now I think I'm going to just leave the reds. Let's see. Yeah, the reds were fine how it were. But let's go to -5. And now let's just scroll back up. Maybe add a little bit of shadow detail, 25. And then I think the last thing I would do is just reduce the highlights here on the side of the body and all the light that's spilling on the ground because it's the same light source. I'm gonna hit K to get my adjustment brush. I'm gonna go ahead and scroll to make the brush smaller and then paint over this area right there where all the highlights are too strong. So right in this general area right here, maybe a little bit over here. And now I'm going to go ahead and go to -50, the highlights, and bring down the whites, maybe -40. Actually, they were good fine. Let's go to -10, and they look fine there. So now this is the before, and this is the after. I feel like the highlights are still a little bit too strong on the body, so I'm going to just get another adjustment brush and just focus on those highlights. Now I'm going to go ahead and just reduce the highlights again, -25, and then the whites -40. It's too strong. Let's go to -10 again. Negative there. And that should be good. So let's see the before and the after. Again, I just felt like those highlights were a little too strong. Now I'm going to go ahead and exit the adjustment brush by hitting the shortcut K. And then I'm going to get this tool right here. It's the same thing, same adjustment brush area, but hit the plus and then select sky. I already selected the sky, that was quick. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just bring up the shadows quite a bit. Yeah, to maybe 60 seems pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave that exposure at 0 and leave the shadows at 60, but it didn't select some of this area on the bottom. So I'm gonna select the mask by clicking on it. And then over here, it should show like this. When you click on the mask, it'll have a plus, and then I'm gonna go to brush. And now I'm going to go ahead and select these areas that it missed right here in the ground. Right here. I'm just bridging the gap. And maybe a little bit over here. But it did get a little bit on top of her hair, so it looks a little bit funky. So let me show you before and after. So I'm going to go ahead and hold down the space bar, zoom in on her face, and then hit the minus over here and go to brush. And then now with a good flow and density, so it's going to apply the effect fast, I'm going to go ahead and just select that area of the hair where I felt like it got too much of the increase in shadows from that adjustment in the sky that I made. Again, kind of being a little bit quicker than I usually do my edits. But now that I zoomed in, I actually see that the hair is a little bit bright too. So let me zoom back out. I'm going to select the previous mask that had the lower highlights. So I'm going to go ahead and just piggyback off of those settings and just apply that to the hair. You know what? I'm a little too close. Apply that to the hair because I felt like the hair was too bright too. Also go to the other one and it's gonna also do those same effects, the lowering of the highlights and the whites, but now to the hair. Be sure to change the size of your brush. You can either, if you have a mouse that scrolls, you can use the scroll, or you can use the, next to the P on the keyboard is the open bracket and close bracket. You can use that to change the size of the brush as well. And now I'm gonna get another brush, but zoom in, paint the eyes. And now with the eyes painted, I'm gonna go ahead and get my custom preset for dark eyes. Okay, it's way too strong. So I'm gonna go ahead and just lower the exposure till I think it's just a good amount right there. I think maybe 0.6. Yeah, 0.6. Now I'm gonna go ahead and hit K to exit the adjustment brush. And now at this point, I think it's good enough to bring into Photoshop. So let's see the before and the after. Actually, before I go into Photoshop, let me show you the light setup. It was the Explorer 300 Pro. That's this light right here with the Cheetah Stand QSB 34, their 34-inch beauty dish. It was double diffused and had the deflector plate in it. And I was using the Cheetah Stand, I think the C12. I'll leave a link to that in the description area below. It's a good stand. All right, so the very first thing that I see that I want to remove is any potential distractions. And usually there's a lot more distractions on the floor, but I don't feel like that is gonna be the case for this shot. The only thing that I was finding really distracting about this image is maybe this little extra thread, and I think those little flyaways hairs on top. And now I actually have a preset for frequency separation, dodge and burn, and the selective color adjustment layers that I usually do. I have gone over how to make these different things or get all these different tools and layers in other editing videos. So I'll leave a link to that in the description area below, as well as link it in the top right corner of the screen right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and just do a quick version of getting all those different things together. Now I'm gonna get the lasso tool and just see if there's anything that needs to be a little bit smoother. And honestly, I don't think so. Like, everything looks great on her skin. If anything, maybe the little highlights over here. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that the feather is a good amount at 15. I'm gonna go ahead and select these areas where I feel like the highlights are a little strong. And then I'm gonna go to filter, go to blur, go to Gaussian blur, and then bring it up. Let's see, all the way to, let's see, 19. 19 is a good job right there. So I'm gonna click OK. And now before and after. And honestly, I don't think I'll do much else to that on the skin. Maybe just a little bit of the neck right here. Go ahead and get filter, Gaussian blur. And I think the dress is more, needing of the smoothness. So now I'm gonna get my wet brush, what's it called? Mixer brush. I keep saying wet brush. Now I'm gonna go ahead and just see if there's any of these wrinkles that need to be smoothened. I also have a video on this. You guys will see in the top right corner of the screen. All right, so that was pretty fast. Let's see right there, and let me show you the before and after that. Big difference. Jesus. Okay, I actually have a tutorial on how to smoothen the wrinkles, so I'll of course leave that link to that in the description, as well as the top right corner of the screen. But now I can actually do probably the last biggest step is gonna be the dodge and burn. Global dodge and burn is just getting, I get a curve adjustment layer, I bring it up, about a good square up, and then I'm gonna do global is just applying the dodge and burn to a zoomed out version of the image, and then micro is when you zoom in. So now I'm going to go ahead and do the dodge and burn. So now I'm going to start applying the global dodge. Make sure I have the brush tool, the normal brush tool, not the mixer brush. And usually I'll have it at very low flow and the hardness at 0%. I want to gradually apply this brightness. And you do want to make sure that you are painting the correct color. It is black, so I need to paint white, and it's gonna be, again, very quickly. So I'm gonna go ahead and just get the limbs. It's already bright on the arms, so I don't need to apply anything there, but probably this area here on the floor, the dress, needs to be a little bit brighter. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just maybe a little bit of the eyes, just around the eye sockets. Actually, this arm here needs a little bit of brightness, and yeah, just a little bit of the eye right here. 1, 2, 3, good. 1, 2, 3, good. Zoom out and then show you exactly what I did. Before, after. Very subtle. So that was the dodge. And the reason why I only needed to apply a little bit of dodge or global dodge is because it was already pretty bright. So now I'm going to add a good amount of darkness to add the depth when it comes to dodge and burn. So let me show you that. Global dodge and burn. And usually what I do with the burn is get the edges of the limbs. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that on the side of the bottom, sides of the leg. And then now just a little bit in the front right here, a little bit in the back, and then zoom in a little bit, just a little, and get the edges of these limbs over here. And now let's see the before and after, and then for both of those things, before and after. And now probably the last thing I will probably do, oh yes, of course, I always do a little bit of dodge and burn to the face. And when I do the micro dodge and burn, which is zooming in, I go ahead and apply this black and white layer to really kind of show the imperfections of the skin so I can correct them. Now I'm going to go ahead and just kind of just see before and after, like, do I see these imperfections in the skin? Yeah, a little bit of difference in the skin right here. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of darkness, a little burn to the edge of the face, just a little bit. You know what, I probably could still apply some of that frequency separation. So let me go ahead and just go over here really quickly and then Gaussian blur that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And I'll do the same thing over here to this side of the eye. And yeah, it looks pretty, it's a little dark. So let me just add a little bit of dodge, and then I think we'll be good when it comes to the dodge and burn. So before and after, before, after. You know what? I'll go ahead and just be a cheater and add a little bit more of frequency separation on the bottom of the face as well, right? This area. And I think the last thing I'll do on a separate layer is just add a little bit of this. I'll get the clone snap tool to add just a little bit of this skin texture over here so that it kind of eliminates that little dark line of lipstick. Now I'll zoom out. The last thing I'll do is the color. I'll adjust the colors using the selective color adjustment layer. And usually what I do here is I'll get two different selective color adjustment layers. One will be just for the skin tones and one will be for the background. So for now, for this first round, I'm gonna go ahead and just adjust the sliders till I like how the background looks like, and then I'm gonna move on and do another selective color adjustment layer for the skin. Okay, so that was pretty simple. I just affected the reds and the yellows, so before and after. Now I'm gonna do another adjustment layer. I'm gonna go ahead and just go to the bottom, go to selective color, it's the one on the very bottom. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just invert this mask. I'm gonna go ahead and zoom in like about right here. And then now I'm gonna go ahead and just paint white over this skin only. Usually what I'll do is I'll actually keep the verse not inverted so I can see all these weird adjustments that I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna go ahead and go like, let's see, go really weird settings like this, and now invert it so that now when I paint the effect on the skin, then I'll kind of see exactly where I'm painting. So I get like a preview, and I think I just went over the hair. Yeah. So now I'll get like a preview exactly where I'm painting on the skin. And this is again only to see exactly where I'm painting. Remember to change the size of your brush by hitting the open and close bracket next to the P on the keyboard. And now that her skin is selected, then I'll reverse those changes to 0. And now I'll make adjustments in the skin tone till I think they look good. And honestly, when it comes to, I don't want her to be glowing like radioactive, but I don't want her to also be devoid of any colors. So it's kind of a hard balance to find. So let's see, a little bit more of a red tones. And I think we're good. Before, after. Zoom in. Before, there's definitely more greenish skin tones than the before, and now in the after there's more reddish there, but it's not exactly how I want it to be yet. I do notice that there's some areas in the skin where they're not matching with the other parts of the skin's skin tone. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a blank layer, and now I'm gonna zoom in and see where those areas are. And what I'm seeing right here is this area right here is a different shade than right here, and the same kind of effect is going on with the face. So what I'm gonna do is I have this blank layer, and I'm gonna go ahead and now sample an area of the skin where I want it to kind of match with, and I'm gonna hit the B, the brush tool, and now I'm gonna go ahead and just paint over the area where I think it needs to be adjusted. And I did go a little bit over the dress. That's fine because I'm just gonna apply it to those areas. I think it's just, yeah, just those areas right there on the skin, on the kind of the chest area. Change the blending mode from normal to color, and then you guys can see the before and the after. But I did paint over the dress, so I am gonna get the eraser tool, which is E, yeah. And now I'm gonna go ahead and just erase the part on the dress where I painted over. All right, so here's the before and here's the after. I feel like it's a little too devoid of color, so I'm gonna just reduce the opacity to like 70 or maybe 65. And I think at this point, I am pretty much done. So let's see the before and after. So here's the before and here's the after. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this editing tutorial. I hope it wasn't too quick, or I know it is gonna be a bit advanced, but you know, if it was just basic step-by-step stuff, then it'd be a very long video, but hope you guys enjoyed the video regardless. That's it for now. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the very next video.